I understand you have a project in the works, something pretty unprecedented and
Yeah, so Project 222, my goal is to break the mile world record, July 18th in London Diamond League.
4 months ago, Josh Kerr announced his bid for the mile world record.
You know, me coming out and speaking about this is not disrespecting the record. It is the hardest track and field world record right now, in my opinion.
And he's not lying. It's a world record stemming from 27 years back, held by the greatest middle distance runner of all time, Morocco's Hicham El Guerrouj.
They race to the finish line. Hicham El Guerrouj is going to hang on. He's got a world record.
It's currently the second oldest standing world record on the men's side of the track. And the oldest, you ask? Also Hicham El Guerrouj's, but this time the 1500 metre a year earlier. Undoubtedly, Josh Kerr would have his work cut out for him. And these facts were just few of the many reasons when Josh Kerr announced his mile world record attempt, near no one believed he was going to do it. But of course, it's been a few days now, it's all over headlines, we know he did it. And the run itself was a piece of art. Metronomic timing, coming through each 400 metre lap in 55.3, 55.8, 55.4 seconds, before not slowing down into his final lap, but speeding up to set the new world standard.
Feet in the London arena as he strides home. Josh Kerr here. The strength of Scotland, the strength of Britain behind him.
54.9 into the first sub 343 mile world record. And along with it, he trashed his competition. No Goose behind him was the 4th fastest miler of all time, now demoted to 5th and at least 20 meters behind him. In the process, taking just shy of half a second off the prior world record, and since a lot of you enjoyed it from the marathon video, to explain how inhumanly fast this was in layman's terms, these were his average times through each 400, 200 and 100 meter split. And quite frankly, he made it look easy. So if he crushed this world record, and did make it look so very easy, why on earth did almost no one think he was even going to get close? The immediate reaction to the first announcement of this world record attempt was, we appreciate the balls, but come on, get real. This is an El Guerrouj world record, the undisputed GOAT, and you're Josh Kerr. Not that that's a bad thing by any means, Kerr is a great runner. In such a deep era of middle distance running, he's walked away with multiple global medals, one for each colour, but the more I've watched him personally, as a fan, the more I've come to appreciate how intelligent and cunning his running is. And if I was to describe his racing in one sentence, it would be, no matter the form he's in, he consistently puts himself into the best positions to win any race. At the 2023 World Athletics Championships in Budapest, he was ranked 9th in the world heading into the men's 1500 metre final. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the heavy favourite, had been on an absolute tear, shoving incredible time after time down our throats all year. So Kerr, very early, takes an inside rail line absorbed by the pack, utilising the reduced drag early to the full extent. In the second lap, he finds a gap and surges down the straight, finding another rail spot, this time right behind Ingebrigtsen, maintaining pressure while everyone else kind of fades out. And he sticks to his shoulder like glue, outkicking Ingebrigtsen across the final stretch, whose one weakness in his running is he can fade after pacing the entire race. And at the time, this was the greatest upset of the World Championships.
This will be an incredible upset, and it's going to happen again!
But I hear you, an example of tactics when he wins might not impress you. So let's look at one where he loses. At Grand Slam Jamaica, like a rock, Kerr very early finds his rail position, right behind the two favourite athletes that race. And it's only right before the final lap he overtakes Cole Hocker on the straight and hopes to put a gap on an athlete with the strongest kick in the field, and choosing to ride the shoulder of Jared Naguse, who is known to take out races fast but struggles in the final 100 metres. And around the bend, he's in undeniably the best position to win this race. He just didn't have the legs that day.
Still anybody's race. It is Wanyonyi. He's getting to the front. Wanyonyi, the Olympic 800-metre champion.
So the point is, and I'm sure many would agree, Kerr previously won races because he's an extremely intelligent runner paired with great speed. Unlike the more flawed tactics of Cole Hocker, who can easily get boxed in, Ingebrigtsen, who will front run and die doing it, or Jared Naguse, who frequently misjudges his kick. And the numbers back up this tactical running sentiment. In the premier event, the 1500 metre, he's still 10th all time with 5 athletes from this very same generation ahead of him. In the mile, before today obviously, he was 6th all time with 2 modern athletes also ahead of him. In head-to-head races against today's competition, he's 3 wins to 14 losses against Ingebrigtsen, 5-4 against Nagus, and 7-4 against Hocker. And between the 2 world records, he was 1.79 seconds and 2.21 seconds behind each, which in running is ginormous. Let's not kid ourselves here. I don't think anyone had pinned Josh Kerr to be a world record runner. A winner for sure, but not world records. And at the time of his announcement, the general consensus agreed. And then he started running some actual races for the year, opening with a 1:44.6 800 metre, a healthy 0.4 second personal best, indicating he is in all-time shape.
Brandon Miller will still finish it out.
But in no world does a 1:44 scream world record. And as a bonus fact, in this race, which his training partner Brandon Miller won, he didn't even run a personal best. So with this, no opinions were swayed. To conclude a mile world record from a pretty good 800 and your closest training partner who isn't even in his best form ever would be delusional. And in terms of official racing and build up for his world record, that's literally all we got for this year. He ran 2 races outdoor before his mile world record attempt, and the other one was even worse. And although he did run indoors earlier in the year, actually taking home a close-fought world title, his times were nowhere near his personal best from even last year. Surely you're starting to understand what I'm getting at here. There was next to zero evidence to build off of as a regular fan of athletics that he would break this world record. But what if you were a mega fan? Josh Kerr actually has a very active YouTube channel where he frequently drops workouts, and it's here where the most loyal of fans were getting speculative hints. Training was going well. He was doing multiple predictive split workouts indicating world record pace. But for the most part it was being swept under the rug, and for good reason. Predictive training times, while good indicators, are just that. Taking short breaks and running 800 meter repeats, even if well under world record pace, it's just an entirely different ballgame than running the race all the way through. We saw that firsthand this year with Keely Hodgkinson, who predicted a 400 meter of 49 seconds. Yeah, not really that close. How many times have we seen Fred Curley claim a hand-timed world record in training? And even going all the way back to the OGs, Roger Bannister, the first man to break the sub 4 minute mile, failed several times using successfully projected sub 4 minute mile workouts. And those are just the examples off the top of the dome. More often than not, training just isn't reality. And this sentiment of disbelief would stay strong until one day before the London Diamond League, in which Josh Kerr would drop this workout. A raw 1200 meter time trial with a slight lead in splits for us on screen at 1600 meters altitude, closing out his final 400 meters in a brutal 51 seconds and left still standing afterwards.
I can't run a 60 right now. A 60?
Now this was cause for concern. He just ran 3/4 of the race, 4 seconds ahead of world record pace at the altitude of Nairobi, Kenya. Watching this video, I was stunned. The world record seemed doable right then and there in a training run. Now imagine in front of a home crowd of 60,000 people against some of the world's best athletes in a world record attempt you've been calling out for months, and at sea level. And just like that, one day out from the meet, the tides had shifted. Ever so slightly to be more in his favour. Still only 17% of people thought he could do it. But when you give people a solid one day's heads up, that's about as quick as information gets around. Every step of the way, either no one or a small majority thought this world record was going to happen, and watching it unfold in real time was surreal. From zero faith in Kerr as he announces his goals. He's not even the fastest in this era, let alone El Garouge. He gives us tidbits of official 800 meter races, but no one even blinks. Then he drops speculative predictive workouts that start moving the needle a little bit, before a day out dropping this 1200 meter bombshell, which still didn't do a ton. And me personally, I didn't think it was going to happen until about midway through the London Diamond League meet. Remember his training partner Brandon Miller, who I mentioned earlier, who didn't even PR in this race? Well, about an hour before Kerr's race, he absolutely nuked the 800 meter field, including the second fastest 800 meter athlete of all time to a 1 second personal best. That was the moment I finally thought it was going to happen. And that's the absurd tale of why almost absolutely no one in their right mind believed Josh Kerr could become the fastest middle distance runner in history. Debatably, of course, there's still the 1500 meter, but before you can blink, he's already teasing a world record there. 2026 has been arguably the best year track and field has ever seen. Of the 3 biggest distance in the running world, 2 world records have fallen. Now personally, I don't think the 100 meter is up next, but what an unreal time in history to be witnessing nonetheless. And with that, I hope to see you all next time.